Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am in a different scenery. I am in Toronto, Canada. Big up to you guys, but the content doesn't stop. By the way, today we got a lot of news for you guys, but let's get the show started the right way. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and back on another show on EGTV. Let's get this show started. Granit Xhaka will be staying at Arsenal. David Ornstein reporting that Granit Xhaka and Gabriel Jesus have been given the new vice captaincy role after Martin Odegaard. Also, Edu has been spotted on his way to Spain, headed to Valencia. Rumor has it that this could be him going to secure the deal for Pino. Also, Pino has been rumored that Villarreal would be willing to sell him if the right price came in. Also, ongoing talk still for Tielemans, no movement there. We have been linked to a Basuma alternative in current Brighton midfielder. In addition to that, Arteta spoke more about these in-depth transfer rumors. Let's get the show started on today's show, EGTV. Bang! Yes, people, what's going on? It's the KDG on EGTV, and I'm back again with another video, and I'm here with the wonderful Jason himself. Jason, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good. We got a lot to cover, bro. I haven't done a video since the match reaction, so there's a lot that's happened in the last 48 hours or so around Arsenal. In addition to, I actually haven't even spoken about Marquinhos' 2 goals in the game for the under 21. So we're gonna have to talk about 23s. I mean, we're gonna have to talk about all of that plus more. But before we go any further, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget, we're gonna bring you all the Arsenal content, and we're gonna be bringing you vibes from the six later on today. And also, I will be having Ben Jacobs on for an exclusive on the 29th of August. So stay tuned for that, right? But don't go anywhere. Shout out to everyone in the comment section. We got a Man City fan here saying we will thank you. When will we get our thanks for Jesus and Zinchenko? Believe me, you're going to be getting all your thanks from all the Arsenal fans. Gabriel Jesus is the real deal. Zinchenko is amazing. Big up from America. Shout out to my guys all the way in America. Shout out to everyone. We got some other people here saying it's time to start. We've started, people, but as you guys come in and you roll in, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. But yo, Jason, how you doing? How's your weekend?
Yeah, good. Loved watching the game on Saturday. Thought it was amazing at times, and went out on Saturday night, had a good night, and then just did absolutely nothing yesterday, which was perfect. Watched the Chelsea game, fell asleep during it, and woke up to Tuchel and Conte fighting each other.
I was on a flight, so I missed that whole game. But I ended up watching like the extended highlights before I did a TikTok reaction to it, and I thought, wow, that was an entertaining bout to watch. It was
so good. I actually think that Chelsea and Tottenham might be the fiercest rivalry in the Premier League at the minute. It's always a close game, and
you think their rivalry is more deep than the North London Derby rivalry?
I think that in the grand scheme of things, the North London derby is a bigger derby and a better derby. But like the Chelsea Tottenham have had some really, really fierce battles in recent years. You think back to the one in 2016 when they won Leicester the league title. That was a crazy game. Everyone was just slicing everyone. It was mental, brilliant.
Yeah, the Premier League is back, man. The Premier League is back, and it's not only about the Chelsea Tottenham game, to say the least. We also had the Arsenal Leicester game, as you already spoke about. Honestly, man, I expected us to slap Leicester, so I wasn't surprised with the scoreline at the end of the day. Were you?
No, I wasn't. Before the game, I was really confident. I thought it would be maybe 2-0, 3-0. And then I saw Leicester's lineup, and I was reminded they're actually not a bad team at all. Like, they've got some dangerous players. Maddison, Vardy still dangerous. Fofana, who got the run around from Martinelli, didn't he? But he's still a good player. But yeah, their goalie is a bit of a worrying one. But I wasn't surprised. And honestly, although I know Jesus is good, I'm still actually quite surprised at how good he is. He is unbelievable. I think he's probably the best striker we've had since Van Persie. I'm saying he's better than Aubameyang. I can't lie.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. I was gonna save Gabriel Jesus for the end, but let's just start talking about Gabriel Jesus right now. Is he already the signing of the summer for you? How sensational has Gabriel Jesus been? For me, I am. Sorry, for me, I've said it. He's going to be the signing of the season. He's going to get us easily 15 to 20 league goals maybe this season, potentially 20 league goals. Maybe that's stretching it a little bit. but I'm saying he could reach that as levels. And RVP at this moment in time, it's still a long way to go to say he's going to get that RVP level. First, he needs to surpass Aubameyang. I think he's already surpassed Lacazette, but now he just needs to surpass Giroud and Aubameyang. Then he can get to RVP. There's levels. I think in order to get past, he needs to get 15 league goals for me to pass Giroud, and then get 20. You can surpass Aubameyang. Once you get into the 25 range, that's when you can start talking RVP.
Yeah, I think my head's maybe in the clouds a bit. I'm maybe a bit knee-jerk to say better than Aubameyang, because Aubameyang was amazing on his day. But
You know what, Aubameyang at this point, Aubameyang, if Chelsea would be better off with Gabriel Jesus than Aubameyang. If they end up signing Aubameyang, we're gonna see that Aubameyang is no longer the player that he used to be.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I do think that he's got potential to be good for Chelsea, especially under Tuchel. But yeah, I think Jesus is a massive upgrade on both him and Lacazette, and Chelsea, they're missing that player, the Jesus number 9, and they would have won yesterday with him, and I think they'd be probably a shoo-in for the top 4 if they did have him. But there's question marks over them in the minute, and I think Jesus signing of the summer, that I said it before, he'd be the best signing of the summer, and I've seen nothing to prove that I'll change my mind on that. I think he's absolutely electric.
Okay, so let's get into some more of this news. What do you also think about Zinchenko's performance? I thought he was a big difference maker in his energy, his fighting, his tenacity, and just forget about the intangibles for a second. His technical ability on the ball is just such a step up to what we've seen from Kieran Tierney. Now, I'm not saying Kieran Tierney is bad. I'm just saying what Zinchenko offers us going forward, and the technical ability to play in so many different areas of the pitch is pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's a completely different player to Tierney, isn't he? But he plays the same position, which is a bit bizarre, but he is completely different. And when I think Kyle Walker did an interview with Soccer AM, and he got asked like the 3 best trainers or the 3 best like actual footballers at Manchester City, and he says he put Zinchenko in there, and that was ahead of De Bruyne. So yeah, Zinchenko, he is absolutely brilliant, and he is different, and I like the way that him and Xhaka sort of interchange and stuff, and he slots into midfield. He's a calming presence on the ball, and then off it, like you say, he's tenacious and hard-working, and he's just brilliant. And I think the fact that we have got him for nearly half of what we would have had to get Martinez for is just incredible, because he's the better player. And I think that he's actually going to make Tierney better as well. I think Tierney is going to step up, because I've always loved Tierney, but he's sort of like plateaued a bit in his performance. And I think that now that Zinchenko's here, he might actually have a bit of a kick up the backside and proper improve his game and make it hard for him to get dropped when he gets the start.
Boom. Talking about players that have come in and impressed, William Saliba, fully committed to this Arsenal team now, and hopefully getting that contract signing very, very soon. Are you confident that he's going to get that contract signed? Because I'm very confident, and I think Freddie Paxton was one that reported a couple of weeks ago that deal is pretty much almost done.
Yeah, I mean, I think I am quite confident, but I'm also worried that it doesn't happen, because if it doesn't, then we're screwed, because he is unbelievable. And I think, is it 2024 it expires?
Yeah, 2 years away.
Yeah, that's dangerous. We need to get it done ASAP. Like him and Saka, that is the priority. Over signing at the minute, that's priority.
I believe the Saka one is going to get done.
Yeah, I do.
More than the Saliba one. But when Freddie Paxton said it, I don't know how many people Freddie Paxton knows, but he hasn't gotten anything wrong yet. So we'll wait and see. Iga, would you say Gabriel Jesus is a problem at City's inconsistency in front of goal? He's a brilliant in games. He goes missing, but he would be as inconsistent for you. He won't be as inconsistent for you. I don't know his Man City days, if he was that inconsistent. He stepped up big time when you needed him the most. Saliba needs to sign the thing. Every time we say to a player, sign the thing, you know what ends up happening. It doesn't end up going well. So let's not say sign the thing. Let's just say, Saliba, don't worry. We got you. Just remember that. Big up Knight Rider in the house. But yeah, let's go on to some of these other conversations. Saka. While we're talking about Saka, he got nominated for the Ballon d'Or version of the Young Player of the Year. What's it called? The Kopa Trophy. You know what? He could win it.
He could.
He could actually win it. I'm looking at the nominees for the Kopa trophy, and I'm thinking to myself, Bukayo Saka has a real chance of winning it this year. Just looking at some of these nominees. One second, let me pull it up for you. I don't really see too many. I don't really see too many players that could take it off him.
Camavinga, maybe.
Camavinga, did he really play a big part of that Real Madrid team though?
Well, when they in the Champions League, he came off the bench a bunch of times when they were on the brink of going out, and they ended up going through. So I think he's probably his biggest competition. To be fair.
Okay, so you got Camavinga. I would say Jude Bellingham is also a big competition.
Yeah.
Gavi, would you say Gavi really did much?
I don't think so. I think Saka deserves it over Gavi personally.
Um, uh, I don't know if people rate the Eredivisie as much to give it to Ryan Gravenberch.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nunes Mendes, I don't know. Masala, does he really play for Bayern much?
I'm not too sure. I don't watch enough of Bayern to know, but I'm pretty sure he gets minutes. I don't know if he starts, but I'm pretty sure he gets minutes.
And I know Florian Witzer's numbers are up there too.
He had a bad injury. I think he tore his ACL last season.
Yeah,
I think he missed a big chunk.
I think Saka might be top 3, but yeah, definitely Camavinga, Jude Bellingham, and Saka, I would say, are the 3 favorites in my opinion.
I'd agree with that, 100%.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there, right? People in the comment section, big up to the people that's saying if I was Saliba, I would not sign yet. Arteta's got to earn it. Interesting. People saying Arteta's got to earn it. Man, don't say Saliba sign it. He's likely. He's like a young Rio. Hey, Chelsea fans obviously don't want Saliba to sign the thing. We know that. You guys want Fofana, and if I'm not mistaken, Martinelli made Fofana look like a joke the other day. So yeah, not much to say there. But let's get into some of these transfer rumors. First, we were just talking about it before we went live. Ainsley Maitland-Niles set to leave the club. What do you think about that?
I'm not surprised. I think it's the right decision, to be honest. I actually really like Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I do, but I think he obviously rates himself as a centre midfielder, which he's not a bad centre midfielder by any means. I think he can play in the Premier League as a centre midfielder, but probably not for us. As a right back or left back, he's brilliant. Really like him, but fair play to him. But at the same time, Arteta obviously doesn't like him that much, and he didn't make the squad for the first game of the season. I don't think he wasn't in the squad for Leicester either, was he? So I don't think. I can't remember.
He hasn't been in the squad yet all season.
No. So I mean, that to me, I'm not surprised.
What did the article say again? Ainsley Maitland-Niles said to leave. So is Bellerín, right?
Yeah, before the deadline. Apparently, that's according to the Times. But I mean, that's not surprising. It doesn't really mention what teams could potentially sign them. I'm not sure who'd be in for Maitland-Niles. I mean, not in a force would be mentioned, but that's probably an easy name to put in there because they've tried to sign every single player in the world this summer. So, I mean, that's not surprising. I think he would probably fit in there as well.
Yeah, and not only with him, Héctor Bellerín and Rúnarsson are also set to leave. So this is it. I think good old Connor tweeted this out. So let's just go check it out. Yeah, Connor was tweeted this out August 10th. Expect Héctor Bellerín and Rúnarsson almost certain to leave, and Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Reiss Nelson's futures still sorted as well. Still to be sorted as well. So we know for sure those two are leaving. We now know Ainsley's leaving. What's going to happen with Reiss Nelson?
He's got an injury at the minute, I think. So I'm not too sure.
Yeah, Reiss Nelson's injured for. It could be like 6 months.
I read it was a quad injury for 2 months. I think James Benj might have tweeted that.
Okay, so he could be out and not be moving until January now because of this injury.
Potentially, yeah.
Hey, maybe he comes back fit and he might get an opportunity in the Europa League since he sticks around with the club.
Yeah, that's where his game time's going to come, isn't it? The Europa League. I don't think he has much chance of getting in the Premier League. Starting 11, definitely not. Off the bench, I think Arteta would probably look towards Pepe and Vieira and Smith Rowe ahead of him. So I think if I was Reiss Nelson, I'd be wanting to leave. Same as Maitland-Niles, because I just don't think that they have a future at the club whatsoever. But the injury one, I'm not sure what that means for Reiss Nelson if he can leave this summer, because I don't think he's going to be able to play for a couple of months at least. So
Let's talk about another winger that we've just signed, Marquinhos. Marquinhos has come in, and 2 games for the under 21s, 3 goals and an assist. He honestly, that level is way beneath him. He should not be playing under 21s. Either he needs to get on a loan or he needs to be playing with the first team, because the way that he's slicing through some of those players in those games, it's not even a joke. It's just he's just walking past them. He's gliding. You know how when you're a level above people, you just glide past them in games? That's what he's doing. He's picking up the ball on the wing, and I'm seeing him just cut inside, walk past 3 people, and just slot it in the bottom corner or the far corner every time. And it's like he's done it 3 times in 2 games. So I don't know if we keep him in the under 21s. I don't know how much development he's going to do there.
yeah, I think that's a good point. To be fair, he has looked really impressive, and I do think that the fact that he's hit the ground running so well is probably going to benefit him for the fact that Arteta might think to himself, well, he should probably go out on loan now, because he could probably play in one of the big 5 leagues for probably like a bottom half team or something like that. He could get some good minutes. Maybe not in England. Maybe he could go to Spain or Italy and he'll do quite well. And you've seen players go over to Germany, like English players as such, go over to Germany and do well. So yeah, potentially I think a loan to sort of a foreign team would probably do him quite good.
100%. And yes, talking about Chelsea yesterday, we had they had Reiss James, who's one of their young academy players who plays right back, come through, and we have a young academy player who plays right back who we're looking to bring through in Norton-Cuffy, and we've just given him a new deal. So Brooke Norton-Cuffy, I think this is the first time I spoke about his new deal. Highly rated, came from Chelsea Academy actually, if you know this. But yeah, Brooke Norton-Cuffy signing a new deal. I'm very excited about this guy getting his new deal. He had a very successful loan last year. Was it at Lincoln City, if I'm not mistaken?
Oh, you might be right. I'm not too
I
sure.
think it was Lincoln City. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm not an expert on academy players, but this is one player that I've been looking at, and he already has the physical build of like a professional footballer already. Like he's muscular. He can hack it at the men's level. He's not one of those scrawny little academy kids coming through. So I think he has it already. It's just, will he get an opportunity this year to play at right back when we have Tomiyasu, Ben White playing there sometimes, and Cedric? Do you think he's going to get a chance?
Potentially. I think he'll be in the Europa League squads. So there's always that. If someone picks up a knock or we're winning by a good few amount of goals, then potentially he could come on. Because I think you must get at least 5 substitutions in Europe. And I think if we've got the group wrapped up, he might get a game in match day 5 or 6. But I'm the same as you. I'm not massively clued up on him. And you were right. He went to Lincoln in January for 6 months and did quite well. He's earned himself a new deal. And the fans on Twitter seem to really, really like him. So that's a good sign. And
Night Rider saying a loan. What do you think? Would you loan him out?
I don't know.
Get him in the Premier League, maybe. Try.
I don't know if he would, maybe Championship perhaps. I don't know if Lincoln were League 1 or League 2 last
Lincoln
year.
won League 1.
Were they? Well, potentially, but I think it would be good to have him around the club and then perhaps get him involved in the Europa League games. But it is difficult, as you say, because we've still got Bellerín, who's going to leave. White plays right back, and Cedric as well. I think Cedric will probably be our starting right back in Europe, because he's not going to get much game time in the Premier League, is he?
That's true. Now, just before we get into all the madness with the rest of the transfer window stuff, we have about 30 people in the chat right now. Do me a favor, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button right now while you're here. Also, yeah, these guys are talking about Fofana. Tell me, Fofana didn't look like an 80 million pound center back versus us.
No, Martinelli was toying with him, wasn't he? But he is a good player. But he's one of those where he's worth that to Leicester. Might not be worth that to Chelsea, but if they want him, they're going to have to pay what Leicester want. It's the same happened with Maguire, happened with Jack Grealish at Aston Villa. He's probably not £100 million player, but he was to Villa, and that's just how it works these days. And clubs have enough money to be persistent and stubborn and hold out for that amount of money. But Leicester are one that need to raise the funds, and they've already apparently rejected a couple of big ones for him. So, but yeah, 80 million quid's a lot of money, but he is probably worth that to Leicester in this day and age.
That's true. Just moving on to the Pino stuff. Big up Yeremy Pino. We've been linked to him a lot lately. Apparently Villarreal are ready to accept a bid for around 34 million if the bid goes in. So they're openly looking at selling this player. They're telling the world, "Oh, this player's for sale. This is the price. We're ready to accept any bid." Are you starting to get worried when you see stuff like this? It's like,
What comes to my mind in this sort of situation is that our name is getting thrown into the equation to get other teams interested. I feel like Arsenal are a team that get used like that quite a lot in the media, and they'll just get their name thrown in the ring, and the hope that another team will come in and bid for him. But yeah, I don't know if we are interested in him, but I think 34 million quid is actually pretty cheap in this market nowadays. 34 million, I think he's 18 or 19, and he's a highly sought after player. 80 million euro buyout clause, and to get him for half of that is pretty good in this market. But yeah, like I say, I think especially in foreign media, Spanish, Italian, our name just gets thrown about like nothing, which is annoying. But I've learned to take stories with a pinch of salt these days, unless it comes from like Ornstein or Romano or Charles Watts or something like
let's
that.
ask the chat. Yo, chat, let me know right now. Do you guys think there's more to this, or could there be something that we don't know that they might be? I don't know. I'm very like, I'm a cautious person. So if somebody's trying to sell something very quick, I wonder why. And I say to myself, why are they trying to sell this player so quickly? What's going on? What's happening behind the scenes that's making them want to sell the player so quickly? But yeah, Yeremy Pino does look like a good player. He would fit in, but I view him more as somebody who could be potentially a backup to Bukayo Saka. I don't see him as a starter.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I don't think that we would sign a winger that would instantly get in the team now. I think Rafinha might have, but I don't think that we would bring in a winger to overtake Martinelli or Saka in the pecking order, especially Saka. But I think Pino, I don't know, he could probably play both sides. But yeah, he would be more depth. But I don't see us signing him if we've got Pepe at the club. It just doesn't really make much sense, because Pepe's just going to end up rotting away, and then we're going to have to end up selling him for like 5 million quid or something, or just terminate his contract. So I don't think the signing really makes much sense in that regard, with Pepe at the club and Nelson and Marquinhos. But yeah, Pino, he fits the profile, doesn't he? He's a teenager, he's promising, and I think the fact that Villarreal are desperate to sell him is probably a financial thing on their part, because teams around the world are just skint. Like everywhere, teams are just skint.
Yeah, and you know what? This comment right here, he might be right. He's definitely up to something. He's definitely up to something. We don't know what he's up to. We don't know what he could be doing. We don't know if he's going to Spain to go sign a player, if he's going to Spain to go do something else. But Edu has been spotted headed to Spain on Ryanair, to the point where Ryanair even made a joke saying we're going to get the deal done. So could there be a link? Could there be a link between Edu flying out? Could there be a link to all this Edu stuff? Because the moment you see the mood around the club, the mood around the fan base, everything, you say to yourself, you know, everything's going well. But if we can just get those couple more signings in that we need to improve ourselves, then everyone's going to be confident going into the end of the window, and going into the beginning of the new season. Because when you see Edu flying out, could he be going on vacation, or could he be going for a business trip?
I mean, would a technical director, especially one for a club like Arsenal, be having a little vacation during the transfer window, especially with a couple of weeks left? I'd be surprised, unless it's just for like a day or two. But he might have relatives over there. We don't know. I think Valencia and Villarreal are about 40 miles apart. So yeah, I mean, if he is going there on business, I would have thought it would be Pino would be the only answer, really. But I don't think he would be on vacation with the transfer window about to close in a couple of weeks.
Hmm. I personally, this is my opinion on this. Edu is on a flight headed to Spain, to Valencia, and how you said Valencia and Villarreal? How far are they?
40 miles, I read.
So could that be the closest airport to get to Valencia, or to get to Villarreal?
Potentially. I think, well, it says here the two locations are only 40 miles apart, so that must be quite close in the grand scheme of things, I would have thought.
I'm just thinking because like if you're gonna say to me that the Villarreal area, let me just see. Okay, so I'm looking at it right now. I'm on Google Maps. Villarreal, Spain, right? So you're going from Villarreal to Valencia. Yep, it's the closest airport. It's the closest airport. There's no airport in Villarreal. This is literally, bro. This is literally in order to get to Villarreal, you can get to Valencia. Now, this is crazy. I'm gonna show you how close this is. So people saying, "Oh, why would he go to Valencia?" Valencia is here, right? This is Villarreal.
Hmm.
Look at
Well,
how
yeah,
close. Look at how close that is.
yeah. I mean, that would add up then, wouldn't it? That
Yeah,
would.
and it doesn't look like they have an airport in this city because it's such a small city.
The nearest airport to Villarreal is Castellón de la Plana, which is 33.5 kilometers away. Other nearby airports include Valencia,
Is this
which is
it?
59.
Where's the
Yeah,
other airport? This
that
is it?
apparently there's an airport there. Yeah,
There's an airport here.
apparently.
Oh, okay. So why didn't he fly into that airport? Maybe to get from London to thing. I don't know. We're doing crazy Arsenal like fan stuff.
This is classic Arsenal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this is we're gonna start tracking flights now. But yeah, people are saying barbecue edu with those brown envelopes. What does that even mean, brown envelopes?
I don't know. I was hoping you'd know. I know the barbecue picture hidden with the tongs, but I don't know about the burnt envelopes.
Ah man, listen. I personally think Edu is definitely up to something. I agree with One Touch TV in the comment section. But the question is, what could Edu be doing this late in the window that could be getting him to go to Spain? Could he be really on vacation this late in the window? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make
It
sense
doesn't make sense.
unless it's a day or two. I mean, he's working non-stop for 2 3 months, isn't he? So maybe it's just a day or two. And he said on the Arsenal documentary, his phone switched on 24/7, and he gets woken up at 3 o'clock. The phone ring, and he has to pick it up. So I mean, he could just be chilling out, catching some rays for a couple of days. But I mean,
Technically, he could be working anywhere in the world. All he needs to
yeah,
do is just have his phone on.
yeah, no,
Um,
correct.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. And I don't even know if his family went with him for that trip. Arteta spoke about the potential of Sambi Lokonga leaving, and he said, uh, laughingly, he made the joke he doesn't want to risk losing the next Yaya Toure. Um, I know that's ironic. It's a joke, obviously. He's not being serious, but that's positive. At least Arteta is putting that to bed, letting us know that Sambi Lokonga is not going nowhere.
Yeah, no, that is good, and I do like him, and I think that we probably do need him this season with Europa League. I think he'll probably be one of the first names on the team sheet. And if he isn't one of the first names in the team sheet in Europe, I'd be pretty disappointed, to be honest, because I think he needs to play with Arsenal. Because last season he started off quite well, but it was a difficult one, and I don't think he's ready to start for us. But I mean, we bought him to play for the future, and a great way to prepare him would be to make him one of our main men in the Europa League. And in the group stage, he should be starting every game if he's fit, I think. In the latter stages, if he's done well, then he should maintain his place.
Hmm. Okay. Moving on to the next one. This one here took everyone by surprise. Have you been seeing what Nuno Tavares has been up to? Man
No.
scored again yesterday.
He scored again?
Yeah.
Oh, my word. I don't know. I wasn't on Twitter much last night, but
Nuno Tavares last night scored again. Not only did Nuno Tavares score again, right? Guess who else scored again? You won't
when
believe it. Balogun.
oh, no, yeah, I knew that. I knew that, yeah. I knew
They
Balogun
both
was
They both got on the goal sheet again.
That's
So these guys are having a wonderful loan. These guys are having a wonderful loan over there in France, and in my opinion, what's happening over there in France, I don't know. But when our players go over there, they just turn superhuman. And imagine, I would have taken anything for Tavares to leave the club at the beginning of the window. Now it looks like we could make a pretty penny from him if we want to sell him to
Mhm.
Marseille, or if he comes back, he could come back a better player and be useful to us in the long run. You never know.
This year away could do in the world of good. He could come back more mature, more ready, less raw, because that's the word everyone uses when they talk about Tavares, is that he's a raw player. And if he can sort of get rid of that rawness and mature, then that's great. And him scoring isn't too much of a surprise, because I swear for Arsenal he would take about 50 shots a game. He just loved it. Like, he would just shoot all the time. Never got close to scoring when he took a shot, but yeah, no, he is more of like an attacking wing back, isn't he, than an actual fullback. But I'm hoping that he can come back and have a similar sort of impact that Saliba did, which would surprise me, to be fair.
What do you
But
think about Balogun performing so well in his loan also?
that's, well, yeah, it's brilliant. I think that's that, being able to play for a team in a top five league consistently, and he's sort of replacing Hugo Ekitike as well, which is a big void to fill. And to get 2 goals in his first 2 appearances is absolutely brilliant. And I think that this loan is perfect for him, absolutely perfect. I think it's good to not have another year in the championship, and then he can now, yeah, he can show us. He's given Arteta something to think about, really, isn't he? With
Facts,
performing in League On.
facts. Let's just talk about something crazy. We have been chasing a certain player for a long time. Do you remember the Houssem Aouar saga?
Yeah,
Now, do you know where he's about to go?
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, like what the hell is going on?
He's His career's so bizarre, isn't it?
You
Like,
know,
how this has happened.
this has happened because he's had agents that have been too greedy and have forced him into staying at Lyon to the
Yeah,
point where now Lyon want to get rid of him.
me and Connor were speaking about this yesterday. Actually, that I think he said that we were really close to signing him, and Aouar's brother basically said, like, don't go. And now he's on the verge of joining Nottingham Forest for like probably around 15 million, when he was valued about 40 million like 2 or 3 years ago. It's bizarre.
It's not bizarre anymore, man. This is strictly your family or whoever your advisors were. They messed up, and you ended up sacking them because they messed up. You had a chance to go to Juventus. You had a chance to go to Arsenal. You had a chance to go to Manchester City. You had a chance to go to so many different clubs. Lyon are historically known for getting top dollar for players when they're of high value. But if the player stays too long, they become devalued completely to the point where they're almost giving him away at this point.
Hmm.
And where is the money? The money's in the Premier League. The Italian clubs don't have the money to throw around like this. You don't see German clubs throwing money around like this. Only the Premier League has this type of expendable cash where a team that just got newly promoted can go out and sign a guy like Usman. You don't see. Do you really see that in other leagues?
No, you don't. The Premier League, because there's so much money in the Premier League. A team that's finishing consistently bottom half in the Premier League probably has a similar budget to that of, or a bigger budget than that of, like Marseille, who finished second in the French league, Dortmund, who are consistently Champions League, who in Italy, even like Napoli or Roma. Like,
Rúnar
it's
said his
crazy.
attitude. I don't know about his attitude. I didn't hear about that.
No, no, neither have I, really. Neither have I. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, but you know what? That is a strange one to say the least. But these things happen. These things happen. I personally think we're better off with Odegaard. I'm very much happy
100%.
with Odegaard. I'm very
100%.
happy with Odegaard. I don't think Odegaard. I don't think missing out on Odegaard is a big miss. Missing out on not Odegaard. Missing out on Houssem Aouar is a big miss now that we've gotten Odegaard.
And Fabio Vieira as well.
And also missing out on what's his name? Vlahovic might have actually been a benefit to us now that we have
Potent-
Jesus.
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
You should maybe write an article on that because Vlahovic, because Juventus want Jesus. They would rather have Jesus right now than what they have with Vlahovic.
yeah, they were linked to him for a while, and I think everyone goes on about how in January we should have signed a striker after failing to get Vlahovic. Which, in fairness, I think if we did, we probably do finish top 4. But if we did, we also might have then not signed. We might have then not signed Jesus this summer, and I don't really know who would have been available for a decent price in January. Alexander Isaac's been mentioned, but he's still at Sociedad after a pretty poor season. So I think that like this sort of digresses to someone else, but I think that Arteta has been just fully justified in like every single decision he's made in that sort of regard. And I think Jesus, yeah, we are so blessed to have him. He is so good.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one here is 20-year-old Brighton midfielder. How do you pronounce his name?
So is it Caicedo?
Moises Caicedo.
Moises Caicedo. That's how you pronounce it. So I'm just going to timestamp this at 36. And for the people who don't know, Football London do a great breakdown on every player that we're linked to. So they've done a breakdown for Caicedo, and we're just gonna take a second to appreciate the breakdown, so we don't have to do one ourselves. So Caicedo, right? The thing about Caicedo is he's 20 years old. He plays for Brighton. He's a midfielder. He is of the realm similar to what's his name? Basuma, who's gone to Tottenham, of course. He's basically Basuma's replacement. He's only 20 years old. He's very young, right? He is Ecuadorian. Interesting. I didn't know that.
He's played for Ecuador quite a few times already.
Right? Yeah, he's played for Ecuador a couple times. I thought he was interesting. Interesting. Yeah, he's played for Ecuador a lot. He moved to Brighton at the age of 19 for 4.5 million. Wow. Okay, interesting. Let's see what else we can find out about him. Later in the year, he was loaned out to a Belgian club. Okay, he didn't actually play much. He only featured 12 games, got 2 goal contributions. Premier League last season, he played 8 matches, and combined total of 2 goals. One of them was against Arsenal, if you guys remember, in that game that we lost.
I think it was Mwepu that scored.
Oh, I'm tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. He scored against Manchester United though, in this picture. But yeah, shout out to him. I don't know too much about the guy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I actually, believe it or not, last summer I did an article on the best players that each Premier League team's loaned out. Because I didn't know a lot about Brighton, I messaged a Brighton fan that I know and said, "Who's yours?" And he said, "This guy." So I wrote about him this time last year, and I thought that I looked into him a bit, and I thought back then he looks a player, and he's come to the Premier League and taken to it really well. So I think he's definitely one to keep an eye on for Brighton this season, definitely.
Okay, interesting. And then now the final piece of information for today: David Ornstein. David Ornstein has reported something interesting earlier today. Did you see what he reported? He not only did he speak about Bernardo Silva and Michael Edwards, but he had an opportunity to also give us a little update on the captaincy situation at Arsenal. And with this captaincy situation, this means Granit Xhaka is not going nowhere, people. To the people who do not like Granit Xhaka or do not want Granit Xhaka at the football club, he is not going nowhere. And you might want to close your eyes or look away, because with David Ornstein's report coming out stating that Granit Xhaka and Gabriel Jesus will be now made deputy captains for Arsenal behind Martin Odegaard, and given the leadership roles that is new to these guys. What does that mean? To me, what that means is it's Martin Odegaard first, Granit Xhaka second, and in the case that Martin Odegaard or Xhaka are not on the pitch, Gabriel Jesus is third. What do you think about that? How do you feel about giving the captaincy back to Granit Xhaka?
I think that Arteta's done the right thing, really, because I think if he'd officially made Xhaka captain, I think that would have caused a bit of a storm because of what happened in the past when he was captain. And to give him this role makes perfect sense, because Have you watched the All or Nothing so far? That's come
Yes,
out?
I have. I've
Like,
watched every episode.
Xhaka is the leader of that team, like 100%. Like vocally, before games, in the dressing room, during like at halftime and after and stuff, he is like the voice. Like Odegaard's quite quiet and reserved, but he's still a good captain because he can lead by example on the pitch, and he is very he organizes a lot on the pitch and stuff. But Xhaka, I do like this, and I like Xhaka, and I also like the Jesus thing, and I think maybe that was something that was part of the negotiation to bring him in because we were selling to him to make him the focal point of the team, the man leading the line, and perhaps Arteta has put a lot of faith in him, which is probably why he's able to express himself so much and play so well at the start of the season. But I do like what Arteta's done here, and there's I think it's just a big group of players that are captains really, and I do like that sort of system because I think being a club captain, in my opinion, is quite like an overrated thing. It's not really like that important because I think players are going to still be leaders even without that armband, and Xhaka's the prime example of that, and he'll be sort of one that players look up to, especially as a senior player, not just vice captain. He's one of the oldest players in the team because the team is so young, and I think that I think Arteta's made a really good decision here.
No, I definitely agree. I think Arteta has done a really good decision there. And I was just gonna show you guys one more thing before we move on. Did Fabrizio say something? Aubameyang to Chelsea. Now, I don't believe Aubameyang is gonna move to Chelsea. I don't want to believe that Aubameyang is gonna move to Chelsea. But Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang during this week, Chelsea want to spend way less, and Barcelona are taking the absolute piss. They want 30 million euros for a player that we gave to them for free. And they want to have Marcus Alonso as part of the talks. I don't know what to say, man. Personally, if Aubameyang moves to Chelsea, how would you feel?
Honestly, first off,
I think he would do terrible.
I would be scared because the thought of him scoring against us scares me, and I just don't like the thought of that whatsoever. But I don't know. I don't think he'll flop with Chelsea if he goes there. But it is interesting that Tuchel is prioritizing him. Like, I can't believe that. But
They don't have any other choice. They need a striker. They're desperate. It's near the end of the window. What options are there really out there right now?
I can't think off the top of my head. I can't think. I mean, I bet they wish they still had Tammy Abraham right now.
They probably do. They have a buyback, 80 million.
Yeah, they can't be doing that. But then I don't like who else is there in the Premier League. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know who they can get.
There's not many options out there. They're pretty much screwed at this point because either you overpay for a youngster who's unproven, but they have one in Broya who they just don't want to play.
Yeah,
it makes no sense why they don't want to play him, or they have another choice. You know what they could do?
Who?
They could literally just go with Havertz and Broha and not even sign a striker this summer and go again next summer. Because if they do this whole thing where they mess around, they're messing around for no reason.
Yeah, I think they'd be making, although I don't think Aubameyang would flop, I think they'd be making a massive error to pay 30 million euros for him. Like, that would be an absolute ludicrous.
Oh, they could get Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Another that I know a lot of Arsenal fans wanted Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I personally didn't, but it just Ivan Toney would be the worst. I would be scared if they signed Ivan Toney.
Really? Do you think? I think Manchester United should be going after him personally.
I like Ivan Toney. I wanted him at Arsenal.
Yeah, he was in my head with. I thought Nketiah was leaving. My head, the perfect summer was Jesus and Toney, because I think Toney wouldn't be too much, and he'd imagine him off the bench or against different types of defenses. I thought, yeah, I'm a big fan. I am a big fan of Ivan Toney.
Are you happy we missed out on Lisandro Martinez?
Yeah. Well, I'm not happy. I would have been happy with him, but I mean,
I'm looking at it as Arteta is smart because he knows Lisandro Martinez couldn't play as a center back in this league.
Yeah, he didn't want him for that, which is right. And Man U, I honestly personally think that Man U signed him so we couldn't. And I am much happier with Zinchenko, 1,000,000% much happier with Zinchenko. And but Martinez, he is a centre back. He was in Holland, but
Arteta masterclass.
yeah, exactly. He was just a smokescreen for Zinchenko. I don't think. I think he's a good centre back, but not in the Premier League. I think
he's gonna flop.
I mean, it's been a tough start already, hasn't it?
There's been better centre backs that have been short that have gone to Manchester United. Look at what's his name? Daley Blind. He's a good centre back.
Yeah, he was like a holding midfielder. He was a bit like Martinez. He can play holding midfield, centre back, left back. But yeah, I'm not convinced on Martinez. And I think they literally signed him so we couldn't, which I'm fine with.
Manchester United at this point is just a mess. But yeah, there's no. I'm looking at the comments. I'm just seeing people fighting amongst each other. I'm not really seeing anything productive. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll be back later tonight at 10 p.m. I haven't even gone to sleep, bro. I'm literally gonna take a nap now right now again. It's like 9 a.m. okay in the UK. I mean in Canada right now. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. You already know what it is. Big up Jason coming on. Really do appreciate it like always. And yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day, guys. We're out of here. Peace. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and back on another show on EGTV. Let's get this show started. Granit Xhaka